I would actually say it's 12 inches. We have lost a lot of product.
This video shows the moment when staff members at South Kitsap Helpline walked downstairs just to find over $20,000 worth of dry food product underwater.
The boxes on the pallets, because they also were underwater, the boxes on top of those boxes collapsed when those boxes collapsed and went into the water. So we lost all of that additional product.
Jennifer Hardison with the food bank tells me the room that was flooded stored their dry foods like pasta, rice, crackers, and cereal. The food bank helps serve around 400 households a week. Hardison said this unfortunately came during one of their busiest months.
This time of year when we're already kind of struggling to make sure that we have enough on our shelves, and we're seeing such an increase in client numbers, it was really sad and very disheartening.
Hardison said this isn't the first time they've seen flooding.
Normally, our basement has flooded before, and we've been able to mop it up or pump it out, and it hasn't been too terribly bad, but it's never been that high.
Hardison said they were able to give some food to a local pig farmer so that it did not all have to go to waste. She also says she's thankful for the people who have stopped by and donated.
Whenever there's a need or there's an emergency, you know, people just really step up and just, that's always the silver lining of situations like this.
The South Kitsap Helpline is getting a new storage box to hold their dry products. Hardison tells me this will be temporary since they already have plans for a new building, which they hope will open by December of next year. In Port Orchard, Karina Vargas, KOMO News.
Yeah, that's right. The mayor took us out here to show us this big wall of dirt that we're at that was put over a roadway to stop all of that water from flooding the city.
This is where the town of Stanwood made their stand. If you don't block it here, water's coming to town.
This is the wall of earth that Mayor Sid Roberts said was quickly put together to keep the floodwater away from Stanwood.
And when we got the call, all hands on deck.
When you look over the wall, you see everything that it was holding back. An expanse of water stretching over Marine Drive, the Stillaguamish River somewhere off there in the distance, and homes among the floodwater.
Doing this kind of was the big, stop point for the wall of water.
Roberts said it worked, and the town was mostly spared from serious flooding. That said, there was plenty of water to pump out.
This is definitely the worst I've seen it.
It was all the way up again.
Misha Plesha with the local American Legion stopped by the building to see if they took on water.
It doesn't appear to be any water damage inside. If you notice, we have a flat roof, unfortunately, so we have had some leaks in the past. We've tried to fix all of those leaks, and I guess we'll see what happens with the roof now.
Still in the assessment phase, they're going to have to take a closer look as this water goes down. That's also something the Snohomish County Department of Emergency Management will need to do. Right now, they're looking to get any damage reports from residents or businesses. They said this water will stick around at least over the next few days, but it is expected to recede. And as for this wall that is right behind me, the mayor told me they expect this to be kept up for the next few days. Reporting in Stanwood, Paul Rivera, KOMO News.
Yeah, Mary, that's right. We reach out to people on both sides. Proponents say this is the way to help working class families and people who are behind on bills or facing unfair rent hikes. But others worry that these conflicting codes and also the lack of city enforcement will lead to too many lawsuits against landlords and ultimately hurt the housing market. It's a time when many Tacoma renters say they're getting priced out of housing, despite rental signs popping up across the city. But new rules giving them more protections have landlords threatening to leave.
And it's going to limit the folks who choose to rent out their properties as it is.
The new Landlord Fairness Code requires landlords provide 2 notices before increasing rent, offer relocation assistance when the increase is 5% or greater, and prevent evictions for certain groups, and never during the winter months.
If you're a Tacoma landlord, you better have a relationship with an attorney real quick, because the chances of you getting sued just went up exponentially.
The group Tacoma for All sponsored the new code. They told us before the vote that it would provide stability for renters, including working families facing unfair rent hikes. Though the way the code was written lacks a provision allowing the city to enforce it.
Instead, the tenants will have to employ attorneys to sue their landlords.
Some frustrated landlords at a city presentation this week argued the changes will keep them from evicting problematic renters.
Was to stop all tenants from not paying their rent.
I can't say that there's anything that would stop tenants to stop paying their rent. However, I can tell you that it is highly discouraged from both landlord-tenant attorneys.
The new initiative also conflicts with the existing rental housing code that does require the city enforce a higher late fee cap and at least one notice before rent goes up. The Rental Housing Authority of Washington doesn't know just yet how that will play out in court, but the agency expects many lawsuits ahead and says it won't be surprised if smaller housing providers end up selling. A Tacoma City spokesperson told us she did want to clarify that the city is not cherry-picking enforcement and that they are limited because of how these rules are written. They do go on to add that if the new law faces legal challenges because it is in conflict with the other rules, that the city would be forced to support the new rules. For now, live in Tacoma, Jackie Kent, KOMO News.